So we had quick news coming out right now about Keyshawn Davis and his brother and the whole situation with Nahir Albright. Breaking news, it came out that Keyshawn Davis and his brother and had a situation where they came from the other locker room next to Nahir Albright's after they heard him celebrating. Nahir Albright says Keyshawn Davis came in and headbutted him and had some words about, after he defeated his brother in a bout where Keyshawn Davis seen Keon Davis hurt multiple times. Kelvin Davis, my bad. And Keon Davis was a guy who stepped in, which his picture is up here. And as you can see, he seems like he's very upset. A lot of people online before the incident where Keyshawn Davis went in and they say he jumped Nahir Albright and he was aggressive. Nahir Albright described it as basically a tussle, roughing him up, headbutting him, grabbing him, just things like that, and just felt like it was very unnecessary from everything that happened. And this is a guy who's fought Keyshawn Davis, gave him his toughest fight, and it ended up being a no contest. And for him to double back and fight his brother and defeat him, that's good on his end because now Albright, he's trying to keep his career on the up and up, and he's taking some tough fights. He might have a tougher resume than Keyshawn has. So, at this point, not to say that the champions and people that Keyshawn fought is not good. I'm just saying the road that he's taken. If you just look, Scott Albright's had a tough career so far, and he's fighting for every inch right now. For him to get jumped on after fighting the main attractions, everybody came out to see Keyshawn Davis and his brother Spox, and Albright was just a guy who was filling the position, but he did more than that with his performance. And this is a bad look, man. Keyshawn Davis coming out, jumping on a guy like this. And, if I feel like allegedly, this is a guy who Keyshawn already felt like he had issues with just because this is his toughest opponent. The guy has already talked about it, took shots at Keyshawn. Keyshawn was going at him recently, him and his brother, to call him an R&B singer because, he does music and everything else. And just personal shots. And so Nahir Albright, he had an edge to him. It was a real beef. It was a real situation. If you go back to the press conferences of this fight, these guys have been really chirping. Like, it was really some things going on between Albright and Kelvin Davis. It was real heat, real back and forths. And it led to Keyshawn Davis, getting aggressive. And if you know their behavior from the past, this is something they've always done as far as things like this, as far as taking up for each other and jumping on somebody else. They've probably been doing this since day one. But the setting and people around them should let them know that it's unnecessary that things like this can even happen. And you can't let your emotions get out of the control and take over like this. Business is important. When you're called the businessman and you're not handling business, it's not a good nickname to have, man. You definitely got to handle your business. And a lot of people were looking at these situations that these brothers had, and just doesn't seem like a good look, to be honest with you. I feel like Kelvin Davis went out and had a great performance because he's a guy that doesn't have a lot of experience, uh, like other people have, and he came out and had a great performance. But as far as with the standards, as far as what he was working with, everything that he had to work against, yeah, you could say as far as what he had to work against, yeah, it was a good performance. But man, like what else? What's next? What are you gonna do as far as your career? Like they can't keep moving like this. Just can't keep doing it, man. Jumping on guys after winning. How do you jump a guy after you won a fight? Just don't understand that. That's not the way you're supposed to move in boxing, man. Just not the way. So Keyshawn Davis, he has to answer for a lot of different things. A lot of people are worried about the way he's going around and moving right now. They feel like he's kind of out of control and he's just doing his own thing and not really good leadership on his part. For him, he's looked at as a leader. He has things going on where he's helping kids in the community and everything else, but can't be a good leader moving like this. But we'll see what happens in the future. But them having a situation where a guy was harmed and after they had a clash with these guys in the ring, very bad. But you'll see what's going on in the future. But that's all I got.